Don't forget, before we're done, a winner or loser of the week. Jump onto all of our socials in the meantime. Looking forward to the people who will help me do it. And remember, it's legally binding. Christy McSweeney is from the PR Council. We always love to see her wonderful face. And a new face as well, which is Ed Cavanough. And Ed is with the McKell Institute. We've got Team Red and Team Blue, no matter what ties they wear. Lady, gent, hello, and lovely to see you both. Ed, welcome to the show. Now, today, the
Thank you very
chartered
much.
accountants, you know, that sexy group of people, God love you for an accountant, but still, you get the point. They've come forward and said, look, if everything's on the table when it comes to the productivity discussions the Treasurer will be having in August, maybe one of the things we should be talking about is upping the GST. But it's not just about the money grab of upping the GST. Theoretically, you'd be able to push down the amount of tax that is being paid for by individuals. Only problem with all of this logic, by the way, is remember, in terms of what you and I as pay-as-you-go people actually end up giving, I think the federal government gets close to $400 billion out of income tax and only about $100 billion out of the GST. So there's going to have to be some little wobble here, but we'll see what happens. All right, Ed, new face, you get to go first. Will they ever change the GST?
Well, look, I think the answer to that very briefly is no. I think the Treasury has been pretty clear that in this new round of tax reform, of productivity debate, that the GST is effectively off the table. This is an old proposal, though. We've seen this for the last couple of decades. People have been talking about eventually we are going to have to ramp up the GST. I think if you're going to raise that as a new area of reform, what you need to be incredibly explicit about from the outset is what that compensation is actually going to look like. And I noted in this proposal, effectively what we saw was, you know, a vague idea that we'd see lower income taxes, we'd see lower business taxes. You know, I want to see that conversation start with, if we are ever going to raise the GST, first what we're going to do is guarantee that we will see everyone who is earning much, you know, say below $50,000 a year or so, pay dramatically less income tax, and be a bit explicit about that. Because otherwise we're just going to, you know, end up raising the GST and punish those potentially that can't afford it. So I think, you know, in this conversation around tax reform, around productivity reform, we shouldn't really be starting with what taxes we should be raising. I think we should be looking at who should be, you know, have a less of a load of a, you know, on the income tax burden, and that's certainly people on, you know, $50,000, $60,000 and below.